Okay. All right. Hi, and welcome to Game Changer Chat. I'm your host, Zakiya, and we're continuing to celebrate and recognize Mental Health Month. And I'm wearing green in recognition of that to stomp out the stigma. We have a guest all the way hailing from the state of California in LA, Elizabeth Holman. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you for having me on your show.
You're so welcome. Elizabeth, for those who do not know you or your background, please tell everyone what makes you an expert in the conversation on mental health.
Thank you for again having me on the show. And we have been our company in the mental health field for over 40 years. We have a company that is nationwide providing mental health and substance use services and coverage to over 1 million members. And so we have been studying and delivering mental health for over 40 years, and I have been the president of the organization for the last 2 years. And it's a family business. My father is a psychologist, and I have really enjoyed the mental health space and the changing landscape. It's just fascinating, and it's wonderful to be of service.
That's wonderful. And it's even more special that it's a family business. So tell us, what does it mean to have a healthcare advocate?
So each member has a healthcare advocate or a licensed clinician or a licensed counselor that is there holding their hand and advocating for their care. So it could be simply approving services that have been requested when they call in by the member or by their therapist or by a facility, or it could be their employer making a referral for the member to have access to services. So, a healthcare advocate in our space is basically a mental health advocate to help them look at options, understand their benefits, really hold their hand, also provide a social service support component, making sure that they know what all their options are through all levels of care that they might need help with.
Thank you for that. And I forgot to mention, everyone, as you're watching this, please hit the like button and also share where geographically you're where you're located. I'm in Northern Virginia and outside DC. Elizabeth is in California and LA. Share where you're tuning in from. And next, I'm just going to ask about EAP. We're connected on LinkedIn, and I see that you do webinars and also you do discussions face to face when we could do face to face on EAP. And you talk about why it's so important to have an EAP program. So let's talk about that. What does a successful EAP, employee assistant program, look like, and why is it important to have one?
So, there are two spaces really that, sometimes three, where individuals can get help. Prior to the climate that we're in, most people had jobs of some kind that provided some type of health coverage, or they may have gotten health coverage through a dependent or a partner. And so, in the traditional sense, an employee assistance program is a sponsored benefit by your employer. It gives you free outpatient sessions, community resources, legal, financial, even some concierge type services to help you. Anything that you're thinking about on the job or that's happening in your life, it could be needing elder care or child care support for you or a family member or a loved one that you're concerned about. So it's really wonderful when your employer, whether you work for a private employer, city, county, a school district, a bank, whoever you work for, they will sometimes provide an employee assistance program at no charge for the employees, their family members, and dependents. And if you're not sure if you have one, you should ask your human resources department if you have an employee assistance program, because this can provide extra support, especially for some of us that are spending a lot of time at home right now and who may not be working or who could use some extra free support.
Thank you for that. You're talking about spending a lot of time at home. People are really stressed out and are going through a lot of different things that can deal with mental health. Um, can you talk about what some of the identify some of the stress imbalances, what that looks like?
Yes, so everybody is different. And sometimes those closest to us, if we're lucky and we have a good relationship and open and honest communication, they may tell us, when I'm waking up in the morning, I'm feeling grouchy. So sometimes it's an obvious, a verbal sign. Like, I have boys that are twins that are 11, and we have allowed one another to say when we wake up, I'm a little grouchy, I'm not awake yet, to really let the other person know that don't take it personal. I'm, really not focused on what you're asking me right now, etc. For other people who may live alone, there are things that they can notice. Some people may have a routine that they like to follow. People may not have a routine right now and it's all out the window because of what's going on. Either you're now sticking to a routine, you have a new routine, or you have no routine and it feels really good. So whatever is happening for you as an individual, what you might notice is if you forgot to eat a couple meals, you skipped one or two meals, that could be a sign of stress or imbalance. If you haven't showered, if you're wearing the same clothes for 2 days in a row, these are some signs that you might notice. And when we take a shower, and this is probably a preview of later, that is something that, is something we typically do every day. We brush our teeth, we take a shower, we eat. So when those basic skills, those basic, daily habits aren't happening, those are signs of imbalance and stress. Also, an upset stomach, feeling like we have no energy, feeling like, why should I even get up right now? I don't really have to be anywhere. Nobody is requiring anything of me. Those are signs of potential stress and imbalance. Also, irritability. We are easily annoyed or agitated if somebody asks us a simple question or calls our name. And, also, maybe losing sense of taste, and not really being interested in what's going on around us. So, it's going to be different for everybody. Those are some more common examples.
Those are all excellent examples. And it brings to mind if when you're working and have a close working relationship to being able to communicate effectively to your team lead, your supervisor, to let them know how you're feeling so that A, they can recommend the EAP or someone to go talk to, and B, so maybe they can adjust or accommodate your workload as well.
Definitely, that would be a good thing. And, some companies are doing extra forms of communication, or what we call over communicating with coworkers, because for some people, this is the first time they're working at home. And some people are used to, working around people, that feedback, kind of that instant notification that they're doing something correctly. We're not necessarily getting that right now. So we've got phone, video, email, we've got instant messaging, and we're learning and adjusting. Even for kids, they're a little grouchy when they have to be on a Zoom with their teacher and the technology is not working.
Yes.
right? It really can throw off the desire to even want to see their teacher because it's not working. It frustrates them. And that's normal, right? We have to accept that because what kid really had to go to school by Zoom a couple months ago? I don't know of many.
Right. Right. So what do you say to your 11-year-olds when they are getting a little frustrated with having to adapt to this new technology when they're used to being face to face with their peers?
Yeah, it's a lot of times it's take a deep breath. Um, what can we do? Can we, you know, take a step back? Can we, luckily, we can say, can we try a different device? Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
this device that's not working. Maybe we'll go on by the phone, or maybe we'll just message your teacher and tell her it's not working. So, creating a supportive response and an environment. And I think we've missed one or two sessions due to technology not working, and really making it okay for everybody, that there's no shame or nobody did anything wrong, and just being loving and supporting and saying, we'll tell the teacher that we tried. We have our assignments. We let's just move forward. And maybe next time the technology, will be better.
Excellent. Excellent. Um, can you share with us some online resources, Elizabeth, that you have found to be helpful with individuals who have an array of mental health challenges?
Yes. So there are some national administrative and organizations that have been created over the years. One of them, I'm going to try to spell, they both have letters in the name. I'm going to try to spell.
Hello? I'm getting feedback with this being right here. Oh, something happened.
Yeah.
And when you put the phone here, it'll give me feedback. Okay. We'll be right back in a moment with Elizabeth. Don't go anywhere.